thinks this is his place.
Oh, he's a tripod?
He is a tripod.
Oh,
he got ran over and they had to amputate his leg. Yeah. He's
sweetie. Oh my goodness.
Now he's become very territorial. Anybody who comes in his area, he's lunging at.
Okay.
He has nipped his mom. So that's our main focus.
Okay.
There's a couple other behavioral issues. We
Right,
want him
right.
to focus on us, and when we say it's okay, to stop. He's really long. He'll jump.
Oh, the
and
jumping
he's
up.
really strong, and so in 1 foot, I mean his whole
All of
body
his weight's
lives
like-
on that
yeah.
1 foot.
As soon as he gets distracted, he's focused
gone.
on that, and that's where he is.
Okay.
So he doesn't,
Got it.
when we try and call him, he doesn't really listen. He chases cars too. So
Okay. Well, overall, it sounds like his mind is just like all over the place,
Yeah,
and he
he's got
doesn't
a lot of
know,
energy
who to turn to.
And
what
I mean,
to
we
do,
exercise him a ton to try to like.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
a
lots of room to run and everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're going to do today is going to apply to every area. So right now, it doesn't sound like he's quite at the point where typically with like aggression, reactivity, it's like, oh, when I see that person, I associate that person with negativity. So it doesn't sound like he's quite there yet. It sounds like he sees that person and doesn't know. He's not like, oh, that's a negative person.
Exactly, yes.
Which most dogs will, when they're on guard. But that's what it could definitely turn to and escalate to. It's on the verge of, like that person is bad. Anybody that comes here is bad. Where he was, they probably didn't take the best care of him,
Exactly.
obviously,
You can tell that with the surgery.
Oh, really? Even
it
with
was
the
kind of not
surgery?
the best surgery.
And this is completely.
Because it was done in
useless.
Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Oh, poor boy. So what we'll do is a process of desensitization and counter conditioning. So typically what I say it is like when he sees somebody, coming in, he associates them with negativity or on the verge of. He's just confused. He's like, is this a good thing, bad thing? What a lot of people do is then push them past there, because that's what you would think to do. Like have that person that's coming in, give him treats, or is that what you guys have been doing?
Yeah, we did that.
Okay,
all the time.
he might end up being okay with that person eventually, but his mind isn't being eased completely 100% because he's like, I'm not sure this person's giving me treats. And then he'll end up probably being okay with, that person eventually as he gets more comfortable.
Oh, definitely.
But as you've, noticed, it's not going to solve his deep-rooted issue of, anybody that comes because he's going to quickly still have that response to them when he first sees them. Does he respond well to you guys now? Like, do you think that he knows that you're his safe place? Does he respond to his name?
Yeah.
He does.
We have taught him a few basic commands, but he's not perfect at it. Because
Right,
We've only
absolutely.
had him for 5 weeks, and
Okay, it's
he
been
didn't
5
even-
weeks. I was going to ask you that. Because we have to give him motivation to respond to you.
Yeah.
And what people typically do is like get frustrated, and you're like, no, stop barking. Don't do that. Because it's just our human natural instinct, to be like, no, don't. You telling the dog no gives them absolutely no motivation to stop. They're like, yeah, right. Like, what's more motivating? This thing that they are so zoned in on, or you saying no? Obviously over here. If he is like on the verge, like he's confused if this is a good thing, a bad thing, doesn't quite know, adding more negativity to the situation, deems it as a negative thing. It is a process because we're switching his natural instinct, but I have a feeling that he's going to shift rather quickly because he's on that line, so we just need to bring him over, to the positive line. The ultimate goal is when you say something's okay, for him to know that that person, that dog, whatever it is positive. The stepping stone though to get there is going to be if you're feeling uncomfortable, threatened, whatever, instead of reacting at that person, you look to me instead. So that's going to be the stepping stone to get there, and the more we do that, the more he'll associate it with positivity. I want to actually go over and see him. Will he be right over here? See?
We will do like a grunt.
We'll go over here just so I can show you kind of the process with them. What you're gonna have to do is leash him in the beginning because he's not gonna have that self-control to come to you on his own. That first time that you tell him, it might take him his full 10 minutes of barking it out, whatever was there, and then he comes after. Not even because he's being called, just because he's, done barking when you come in. So then you just want to praise him, yes, good boy, And then if you consistently are doing that, what that is telling him to do is, when you feel like barking, come to me. He'll bark it out then for maybe 9 minutes, 8 minutes, you know, it will keep decreasing until it's at that, you know, bark or two, you call him, he comes back and everything's okay. Honestly, practice with him, like sit, yes, good. Just focusing, because I guarantee even, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. Cute. Yes. I use that clicker word to like let them know, yes, let them know they did the right thing. And this is also how you can wean off the treats with it. People are like, oh, well, my dog won't listen to me unless I'm holding a treat, you know, and that's because people try to go cold turkey. Yeah. But if you have that in between stepping stone, like, yes, you did the right thing, be patient for that treat, and work on increasing the amount of time then, yes, before you give him that treat. Good. So you're gonna call him back then and get him to a spot where he can calm down and focus on you exactly like this. And if he was still with that step back, just zoning in on guard, you might even have to go all the way back into the house to his safe spot. So back. Sit. Once you have his focus and he can be calm, you know you're good. So what I would do then is kind of like a sit, try to do lay down. If he's gonna go into that lay down position, he's feeling comfortable enough that he feels like he doesn't have to be on guard and ready to go, you know? If you can get him there, even better. Your biggest tool in this is gonna be patience. If you stay in one spot for long enough, with them not reacting just a little bit, you know, maybe on edge, he's going to eventually be like, okay, I scoped out everything, now come back to you. So right here, once you have him to the point where he's focusing on you and not constantly, you know, maybe a sit and then get up, back to where, you know, what I was looking at, he's not ready to go back then. If you don't have his complete 100% focus and get him, you know, back down to this completely, the next step you take, you're starting out here, so he's just gonna keep getting worked up. You'll see the amount of time that it takes him to feel comfortable moving close to that person is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Because essentially, again, what you're doing is the second he's zoning out, starting to worry, Bruno, over here, you look at me. Everything's positive, the situation is positive, and you'll see if you continuously do this process, even with the noises that he's hearing out here, he'll instinctually hear a noise and then look to you on his own. I'll just probably stand right here and you guys can start with him. My golden rule of training is that you only want to say a command one time. So you only want to say sit once. If he doesn't do it, just be patient. If he's still looking at you, he's going to do it with patience, but you want him to know when I say something one time, I mean it, and you do it after one time. If he gets distracted, instead of repeating the command, say his name or that like kissy sound that I use to refocus him on that hand gesture. And then get him to sit right there. Yes! Oh, good. Even to lay down. Sit. Yes. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
Isn't he cute?
Oh, I love. Yeah, back. That second that he hears like somebody pulling up, he starts getting more excited on my little scale. So if you just call him Bruno, you know, get him back down to there to when that person's coming. If he's already here when he hears that, the second he sees them, he's going to react, you know? But if you can just practice even getting him to there, you probably won't have time to work with him up to that person every single time, but just practicing that initial, getting him back down to self-control to relax him after hearing that, that will help too. Yes. There you go. Good boy.
That's a good boy, yes. Bruno, can you sit?
No, it's hard right here. Yes!
Good boy.
So
Good boy.
Yes.
That's a good
And then you can start
boy.
doing like a command like, okay, go say hi. And that's kind of his, you're good. You know, that person's good. Yeah.
Good
So now if you
boy.
want to tell him, go say hi.
Okay, go say hi.
Hi. Hello, buddy boy.
Oh, that's a good boy.
That's much better than nipping the uncle, right? It was the uncle.
Yeah.
Sit. Yes. And then if the dog is going to sit for me and listen, I know that he fully trusts me too, which is awesome.